Hey, Jasa, how are you doing?
Hi, hello, hello. Yeah, how are you?
Okay, I don't hear you yet.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Is it
I can hear
Jasa?
both of you.
Um,
It's Yasha actually.
Yasha? Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Very cool.
Jan, can you hear us?
yes, okay. The audio now works at my. Yeah, now I can hear you, so it was on me.
Okay.
Yeah, hey, good to see you. How are you doing?
I wanted to tell you that I was at your presentation in Berlin.
Really?
Yes, and
Oh,
didn't occur to me that I could stop by and say hello.
aha. Okay, that's nice. How
Yes,
did you like it?
I was one of those people asking questions at the end.
Okay, okay. Were those tough questions, or I can't really remember?
No, it wasn't tough. It wasn't tough.
Okay, okay. Oh, what a coincidence.
Yeah.
Nice. And you just found out like now, like, hey, I know this guy.
Yeah, I mean, a while ago, a couple of days ago, I was like, wait. This webinar, the host here, I've seen this guy.
Okay. Yeah. Mm.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Too
connecting
bad
the
it didn't
dots.
occur to me. Yeah.
Yeah, that's super coincidence. So Ari, yes, last week I was in Berlin and I gave a masterclass, and
Nice.
apparently Jason was there. So yeah, it's a small world.
Very
Yeah.
cool. Were you
Yeah.
traveling to Berlin or do you live in that area?
No, I live in Netherlands, so close to Amsterdam. Our office is also close to Amsterdam, but there was a an e-commerce expo in Berlin, which we had
Got
a
it.
booth, but also did a masterclass. So yeah,
Very cool. Very cool. You guys focus on like EU expansion and
correct.
kind of just operations for Amazon within the European Union.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Just a merchant of record, so I'm gonna explain it all in the webinar in a few minutes. So yeah, it's JSA for you. It's a bit overlapping what you have heard already, but yeah, that's
Yeah, no
fine.
worries. It was interesting. It was interesting. I
Oh,
mean,
nice.
you do quite similar to what we do, except we don't do, the inventory. We don't do this part.
Okay.
Merchant of records. We basically manage accounts and that's it. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
Nice. Where are you based, Ari?
I'm in Southern California, so Los Angeles area.
Oh, okay. All
Yeah.
right. All right. Other side of the globe.
Other side of the world. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
early for you, right? Or
Well,
it's very early for you.
No, it's only like 9 a.m.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. That's
Not too
okay.
bad, not too bad. When I saw that, I think a lot of the participants were based in Europe. I was like, I wonder what time this is going to be. But then I saw it was at 9. I was like, that's fine. That works.
Yeah. Hey, yeah, you guys, is it okay if we maybe just try the presentations if they work okay?
sure, you can try. We have 1 minute left, but we're also waiting for Nick, but maybe
Ah,
he will join a bit later. He's also the last speaker, so
okay, okay. I think you have to send me um, you have to allow me to share the presentation. I'm not sure how this works.
no, you can just share the green button.
Ah, okay.
Under more.
Let me see. Hmm, let me first do this. Share. Where is it now? Uh,
Would you say most participants are other Amazon service providers and agency owners that normally come?
Should be, yes. Okay, it's working.
it's
I think
working?
it's time to kick it off,
Yeah, okay.
Jasa. So I'm gonna share my screen.
Yes, please do.
Here we are. Oh no. Um, yes. All right. I think we kick it off. Ah, Nick is there as well. So we are a complete Yeah, thanks for joining everyone for the webinar of today. If you are running an Amazon agency, you're in the right place because we're going to discuss different tactics, insights, and strategies to grow your agency, but also to help you grow your brands. My name is Jan-Jelle, and I'm your host for today. And with the 3 other speakers, we're going to discuss several topics around, helping Amazon agencies to grow. I will kick it off with the first part, and that's around expansion of your clients into Amazon Europe, but without the EU complexities. So the potential in Europe is huge. The market is huge, but the complexities are also real. 27 countries, different languages, different currencies, which is a reason why most of the US sellers drop off as soon as they start doing some research, what is needed to go live in the markets there. And that's what we're going to discuss today. What are those challenges, but also how can you overcome the challenges that are ahead of you? Quickly about us, Operator One, we are a company from the Netherlands, and we help brands, but also agencies to launch and expand on marketplaces in Europe. We do this by a merchant of record solution, which means that we manage on behalf of brands the marketplaces that they have in scope, and we also sell it on their behalf. So as a merchant of record, we're able to tackle all the different complexities like the VAT, the EPR compliance, customer support, the operations, the full financial flow. So basically the full scope of dealing with the marketplaces. We operate from 2 warehouses in Europe and have a vast portfolio of brands across different categories that we manage. We have a brand solution, but also an agency solution where we're going to talk about today to showcase, hey, what is a way to help you as an agency open up the European markets for your clients. Why not Amazon Europe? So I like this graph. It clearly shows the number of US sellers that are selling in other countries beyond the US. And the European markets are clearly ignored. There are reasons for it, but there's a lot of potential on the table that is not reached by those brands, and it should be because European shoppers also really like to shop on Amazon. To give you a slice of the German market, 63% of the complete e-com business is coming from Amazon. So if you're live on Amazon Germany, you're pretty sure that you reach the majority of the potential audience. So, but what explains the less than 1% of the shoppers that expand, or of the sellers that expand? The complexity is real. As a brand, you will face several challenges if you want to go live on Amazon. Obviously, the VAT compliance. If you want to utilize FBA, for example, and you want to utilize it pan-EU, you will need to have your fiscal entities in all the different countries where your products might be stored. So that's one. Then we have EPR compliance. This is basically the waste tax that you have to pay to the individual governments. And this tax is dependent on the packaging, but also the sourcing materials. And you need to have your registration in each individual country. Unfortunately, each country has a different approach, different set of rules, different way of classifying products, different way of costing behind. So this is one of the major challenges to go ahead, even for European companies. Then, obviously, 27 countries, 24 different languages, but also different currencies where you have to deal with. And also, the logistics need to be in place to fulfill the products to the end consumer. So these are high level, the main challenges that everyone faces. But as an agency, you're also dependent on this mostly the seller central that the brand already has established. And I want to give you a quick understanding of what a brand needs to go through before they can even really start their business on Amazon, so you can help them grow on these platforms. I don't go through everything in detail, but really in highlights. So obviously strategy, make sure that you select the highest potential countries, and make sure that you have the profitability right, because different countries mean different logistics costs, warehousing costs, Amazon commissions, different VAT levels. So make sure that you start building a profitable business. Compliance, obviously products need to be compliant, and a trademark should be there, but the EPR topic, as I just explained, should be in place, but also you need to have a responsible person, which is basically an entity that takes the liability of all the products that are being sold in the European markets. The fiscal piece already briefly explained. So everywhere where your products might be stored, you need to have a fiscal entity. Also, you need to report the movement of the goods on a monthly basis. This is the intrastat reporting. IT, long story short, you don't want to do stuff manually. You want to automate, you want to optimize. So it's always case by case, but you need a decent tech stack to treat different markets, because each Amazon seller central is a different approach, obviously. Then define how you want to operate on the logistics side. So do you want to do FBA, FBM, hybrid? If you want to do FBM, so if you already have a warehouse, make sure that you offer returns in the local country, so that a French consumer don't need to return to a German address. Then you're required to offer free returns. So that's an important one. And on top of that, you also need to offer the customer support in the local language. And then, we have the actual management of Amazon, so content listing and marketplace management. I assume for now that all the participants in this call know how this works, but in essence, this gives you the understanding of what is ahead of your clients if they want to open up Amazon. That's overwhelming for everyone that starts doing some investigations, but luckily there's also a shortcut. And that's by working with a merchant of record like Operator One. So basically, we offer the infrastructure that we already have as a service to brands, but also to agencies. So we have our VATs, we have our EPR registrations, we have 2 warehouses from where we operate, we have the full IT infrastructure. So basically, we can cover the majority of this circle. And when we partner up with an agency, we allow them to manage the content and the strategy within the marketplace. Within the Seller Central. So how does that work? It's pretty straightforward. Amazon gave us the privilege to set up dedicated Amazon accounts that are based on our entity. So we are able to offer the full operational, fiscal, compliance backbone. And we can create a brand new Seller Central for an agency. The agency then is able to set up different brands within this new Seller Central, and the brand has access through the agency to sell on these different markets. Obviously, the brand still needs to make sure that the product is EU compliant, that they have an EU trademark registered. But in essence, this means that a brand could go live in a matter of weeks instead of more than a year. So that's how the model works. The agencies we work with, we also equip them with a full dashboard or control room or whatever you want to call it, but it gives the full transparency on everything that is happening on the European markets. You can use this to report to your customers or to overview yourself what is happening. It has different modules like revenues and orders. You can see the advertising statistics. You see live what is the inventory in our warehouse, but also in Amazon warehouses. We send automatic replenishment orders based on lead time, MOQs, sales velocity. And as an agency or as a brand, you're able to tweak the pricing, but also put a repricer. There's an overview of buy box if you win the buy box. So in this way, you can also act to make sure that the next time you win it if you don't do it at the moment. So that's it from my end. If there are agencies or maybe brands in the call that are interested to learn more, feel free to reach out. You can email me, you can scan the QR. But yeah, this was my topic. Thanks a lot for your time, and we go on to the next one, which is let me check. Yes, that is Ari.
Cool.
Ari gonna tell you about troubleshooting a slow sales day. So very curious to hear about your insights, and yeah, take it away.
Sure. Is my audio coming through okay? You can hear me?
Yes. Yeah.
Cool. Share my screen. Give me 1 second. Is that coming through on your side? Very cool. So the reason I wanted to present on this topic is that we all have that, either it's a client or that subset of clients. And I'm in the West Coast of the United States. So right around 10 a.m. Pacific time, you log in, you check their Amazon, or maybe you're working through other Amazons and they're having a slow sales day. And you know that the Slack message, the text message, the phone call, something is coming to let you know, like, hey, what's going on today? But us being in the Amazon space, we know that the metrics that we're really waiting for, the KPIs that we want to see, they have an actualization window. So the data isn't set. It's going back about 48 hours till when we actually know what's going on in the account. What are our sessions? What are our child level sales? What is the data that we can actually make PPC optimizations on, maybe media changes on? And it's tough because you're kind of getting questions in real time, but you don't have the data yet. So this is my framework to work through that problem.
Ari, we don't see a presentation. So
come through.
We don't see
Just the wrong screen.
Yeah, I think so.
Let me see. Sorry about that. Is it coming through now?
No.
No? Zoom?
Yes.
What about that? It's coming
Yes.
through? Sorry about that. My apologies. I was just on the first slide, so you didn't miss anything.
Okay. Well, this helps. Go ahead.
All right. So this is kind of what I was talking about. It's like an emotional trap. You're getting, you know, you're getting urgency from clients, but you don't have the data yet. And what the worst thing that you can do is to make an optimization, increase your bids, increase your placement settings, do something that's negatively going to affect the account just out of trying to make a change for the sake of making a change. And I'll tell you, the first thing that I do when I see that we're having a slow sales day is I'll check all of our accounts. And I'm trying to understand, is this systemic or is it isolated, right? So if one account is soft, but my other accounts are pretty strong, you know, it might just be isolated. It might be that account. Amazon, obviously, we're going to talk about all the different fluctuations that you can have, but it could just be a single account. If it's multiple accounts, especially in the same sector, in the same category, I feel a little bit better. It kind of tells me, okay, maybe this time of the year, this day of the week, this part of the month, that kind of product doesn't really sell well. You know, if it's more of a luxury item, you might sell that well towards the end of the month when people are in the US, they're on their biweekly pay periods, they splurge at the end of the month, or maybe around tax return season. There's so many different reasons why a certain sector products might be doing better or doing worse. Now, this happened in the US, I want to say about a month ago. I logged in one day. I was at a wedding, and around 4 p.m. I logged in to check some accounts, and all of the accounts were soft. And I was like, did we go to war, or you know what happened in the U.S. that because I've been out all day, what happened? And there was a storm that went pretty much the entire U.S.'s infrastructure shut down. From a logistics perspective, nothing was getting shipped. All of the promised dates for deliveries were 5-7 days out. And you know, obviously we're not going to adjust PPC and increase bids because the account's off that day. So step one, is it systemic or is it isolated? I'll try to figure that out. These are my periods of the day that I really like to focus on. So before 10 a.m. Pacific, which I don't know, most people might in the US might be looking at Eastern time, so 1 p.m. Eastern. I really am not too concerned how the account's doing. If it's Prime Day or something big or running a lightning deal, I might be very curious. But before that time, you can have a sales delay in Seller Central. You know, if you're selling a higher price item, there's just some variability on which clicks might get an order. Before 10 a.m., I'm definitely not looking to make any changes. right around 10 a.m., if we're pacing slow, I might start this process, this diagnostic process. And then by 5 p.m., I'll have enough data from that day to know if I actually need to make a change, especially if I'm looking at tomorrow, right? So if for, the best example I can give is that a lot of times your sales data in the ads console is gonna be lagging 48 hours, and you're not really gonna know your true ROAS on the same day for your campaigns. You might get some sales data, but in reality, your impressions data I've found to be a little bit more accurate. And if my impressions are very low, then I know that my ads are not getting the exposure that I want to get. And if by 5 p.m. that seems to be the case, I might start thinking about an optimization. Although I made a note here, my default posture is I want to make optimizations on the right look back period. So I want to wait, look at a period that's past already 48 hours from now, and then maybe look at the last 7 days, 14, 30, depending on what I'm trying to accomplish. But again, this is more for an urgent type situation. The number one thing that's going to affect you on Amazon is any retail issue. So either all of your stock got moved to FC transfer, maybe it was inbound, you thought it was going to be available and it's all in FC transfer. Your listing got suppressed. I know we all have software to tell us when our listings get suppressed. They lag. They don't always tell you, they don't always tell you that your listing might not be suppressed, but it's not searchable. There's so many, your buy box can get pulled. So unfortunately, some of that's manual, some of that you can do with software, but it's worth checking at least your hero ASINs to see if something happened there. And then content degraded. These are like silent killers, right? It's something that happens very common is a bullet point regarding warranties or money back guarantees will perform very well. Obviously, they're against TOS, but legacy, you inherit an account. Somebody's had that on their bullet point for 10 years. And that gets pulled one day by Amazon. I've seen that affect conversion rates. I've seen recent reviews that are 1 star that land on the detail page affect conversion rates. So I'll check retail issues, see if there's something on one of our hero ASINs or maybe one of our hero parentages that might be inflecting that sales loss. Layer 2 is pricing, and not only our pricing, but also competitors' pricing. So our main competitors running a lightning deal? Are they running a coupon, a discount? They might be running a brand promotion that you can't see. I doubt that that's going to have too much of an effect. You can also, your brands, that you're managing can also be competing against themselves. So if they launch a deal, let's say it happens common with some of our brands, that they launch a deal on Target Marketplace and our Amazon sales will fall. Or they might launch a deal on their direct-to-consumer website. So pricing, maybe just with a quick Google search, making sure that you still have your buy box, reaching out to the brand, asking them if they launch a new sale price or a new deal somewhere. That's probably what I would check next if I made it to this layer. Layer 3, this is when I'll start to get into the ads. I'm looking at impressions. You could look at clicks as well, but I'm really trying to see, are ads getting exposure? I don't love same day ads data, but if we're not getting exposure, if we've hit our budget caps for the day, which can happen sometimes during Prime Day. Sometimes when Prime Day comes, you get way more traffic than you think you were going to get. You hit your budgets really early in the day, and then that has a negative sales effect. So that would be diagnostic layer 3. And then number 4 would be something affecting conversion rates. So when we think of conversion rates, if our product is live, our buy box is there, we're getting all the impressions and people are just not buying, I'll look for a drop in our BSR in the subcategory. So are all of our other competitors, are they gaining ground on us? Or are they still in the same area that they were? I'll use Keepa for this. I like that software. And if I notice that we're dropping in the subcategory, I'll lean towards it might be a conversion rate issue. I rarely am going to change, images or something on the listing with same day data. So this is the 4th layer for that reason. And this is something that I've kind of figured out to look at, especially with replenishable products, is you can look at your subscribe and save distribution per the day of the month. And you'll find that certain days of the month, you have more subscribe and save orders go out. If you look in the dashboard and you toggle it to a daily view, let's say you look back about 60 days, you'll see that, hey, on the 13th or on the 14th, we have a lot of subscribe and save orders normally go out. That's going to make that day of the month, if you're comparing against it, or if you're in that day of the month, a very strong or very slow day of the month sometimes. So I'll look at that, and obviously any other seasonality effects. These are interesting. As you work in different categories, different niches, you'll see that seasonality isn't always what you think it is. Some products correlate with products that you wouldn't think, and they follow their seasonality. So I'll try to, you can use Google Trends, you can try exploding topics. I think that's by SEMrush. There's a few other, sources that you can go to try to track seasonality for the product, see if that's an effect. Overall, I think for what I've seen, most brands leading into an event like a Prime Day or a holiday or anything like that, they'll kind of track together, at least the ones that we manage. So our supplement brands will move together. Our, let's say tools and hardware brands will move together, and I'll use that information. And last but not least, the real skill is just knowing which lever not to pull. Doing this for a long time, it's really easy to get pressured into making a mistake. Your clients, they want more sales. A lot of times it's sales related, and you make a mistake, and all of a sudden your ad spend spikes, and you end up looking like you kind of don't know what you're doing. So the real skill is knowing which levers not to pull, not which lever to pull. Try to stay calm, and most of the time I just say, hey, look, let's wait about 48 hours and check back. And if you guys have any questions, I just put my contact info there. I'll stop sharing now.
All right. Interesting, Ari. Yeah. Sometimes you have a slow day. That happens, right? That can also be the answer. Conclusion
Right.
after analyzing all the stuff, but interesting insights. Yeah, it's a really systematic way to approach it indeed. And don't panic. That's a good one.
Thank you.
All right. I think Jasa is up next. So you're also going to talk about growth. So the floor is yours.
Give me just 1 second, please. All right. So, all right. Can you see the presentation?
I can see it.
All right. So yes, this presentation is about the Amazon brand. Whether you are already working with an agency or evaluating your options, you need to understand what separates agencies that consistently drive growth from agencies that plateau. And I just noticed that the title here is wrong, but it doesn't matter. So when agencies basically hit their ceiling, it means your revenue, it's your revenue that stops growing, and the results usually become inconsistent, and your brand's account gets reactive instead of proactive. So we'll walk through exactly why that happens, what the difference looks like in practice, and what you should demand from any agency managing your brand. So here's the core insight most brands miss. When an agency stops growing, you feel it before they even acknowledge it. So revenue growth slows because the team is stretched too thin to run proactive strategy. They are managing fires instead of driving momentum, and results become inconsistent because quality depends on individuals, not documented processes. That's most often the case. And communication falls apart as an overloaded team deprioritizes reporting and client updates. And your agency's internal plateau is not an internal problem. It directly costs your revenue and your market position and growth momentum, of course. Here's a practical checklist, 5 warning signs that your agency has hit their ceiling and your brand is already paying for it. So 1, you're chasing them for updates rather than receiving proactive reports. 2, strategy feels recycled, same recommendations every month without any fresh thinking. Then next, you are on your 3rd account manager in 12 months, and none of them really knows your brand. Or results are swing significantly month to month without any explanation. Or you're discovering account problems before your agency flags them. So if you have two or more of these, it means you don't have an Amazon performance problem, but an agency infrastructure problem. So what does this happen? Almost always, it's not about effort or intention. Most agency founders generally care about results. The problem is usually structural. So the agency was built around the founder. Every client relationship, every quality decision, every strategic call flows through one or two people. There are no documented processes, so quality becomes person dependent. There are no specialists, so one generalist is stretched across PPC listings, reporting, and whatnot. So the whole operation is reactive and it's always catching up to problems. And when the infrastructure is this fragile, the agency physically cannot grow beyond the capacity of those few people at the top. And their brand is directly limited by that ceiling. And this is the baseline, so not the wish list. 6 things every Amazon brand should be able to check off for their agency. So, live transparency. You should have real-time access to your own data, not a delayed monthly summary. Then, specialist expertise. Your PPC should be managed by someone whose sole focus is PPC. Then, proactive strategy. A good agency is running new tests and adapting to market changes before they show up in your numbers. Consistent quality through documented processes, so clear, fast communication with someone who genuinely knows your brand, and measurable growth with KPIs that are tracked and owned from day one. If your agency isn't delivering all 6 of these, you are leaving growth on the table. So what does a scalable growth system actually look like from your perspective as a brand? So first, systemized delivery. Every service runs on documented processes and quality checklist. This is what guarantees consistency. You get the same standard every month, not results that vary by who happen to have the time that week. Next, a specialist team structure. Your PPC manager only does PPC. Your listing specialist only does listings. Because specialists go deeper and produce better results than generalists who are stretched thin. Third, data-driven accountability. So live dashboards, weekly, monthly reviews, KPIs tracked and don't from day one. So without any surprises, no chasing around, you always know exactly where you stand. And this is super important for a brand. So here's what the client experience looks like side by side. First is reporting from a delayed monthly PDF to a live dashboard you can check anytime. That's basically the goal for a brand and an agency. Strategy should go from reactive and recycled to proactive and always testing. Account manager, again, from someone who changes every few months or even weeks, to a dedicated contact who deeply knows your brand. Quality should go from variable and person dependent to consistent and system guaranteed. When it comes to issue responses, it goes from your finding problems first to your agency flagging and resolving them proactively. This is one of the most common things that we come across when managing accounts. And revenue growth from inconsistent and hard to predict, tracked, attributed, and compounding. So every single one of these differences has a direct commercial impact on your Amazon business. These are the numbers that a system-driven agency consistently produces. And by system-driven agency, I'm talking about our agency, Blue Amber Digital, because this is something that some of the results that we actually receive. So 3 times revenue growth on average in the first year. We've managed this for quite a few clients in the last year, in the last 18 months. 40% reduction in ACOS through specialist PPC campaigns. This should be a no-brainer more often than not. A standardized 5-day onboarding process instead of chaotic 3-week ramp up. This is something that when we moved from sort of freelance agency, that freelancer was me, to a more systematic agency approach. This is something that we actually did. So from a chaotic 3-week onboarding to a standardized 5-day onboarding. And 96% client retention rate. This is, again, something that we consistently achieve, and I'm super proud of it. So the testimonial at the bottom captures the most important shift. It's not just about better metrics, it's about finally having an agency that is ahead of your account rather than always catching up to it. That's what you should be paying for, and that's what a proper system delivers. So use these 6 questions as your agency health check. One, can you see your account performance in real time without having to request it? 2, does your agency proactively bring new strategies, or do they wait for you to ask? 3, has your account manager been consistent for more than 6 months? It can also be 3 months or 1 month. 4, are your results consistent month to month with a clear explanation when they aren't? And 5, has your agency shown you their documented onboarding and delivery process? And lastly, can you directly tie revenue growth to specific actions your agency took? If you're answering no to more than 2 of these, the limiting factor in your Amazon business is not your product, but your pricing or your market. It's your agency's infrastructure. So let's make this practical. When evaluating an agency, existing one or new one, look for these signals. So basically, green flags, a team with clearly defined specialist role, a live reporting dashboard from day one, documented onboarding processes. You can see proactive weekly, bi-weekly, monthly updates, and KPIs defined and agreed before work begins. So yes, I just want to leave with this. You're not just a client, you are a partner in your own growth. And the agency you choose is either an accelerant or a ceiling. And the difference between an agency that plateaus and the one that pulls you forward is not talent or intention, it's infrastructure, it's systems behind it, specialists, data accountability. So don't settle for an agency that grows alongside you at whatever pace they can manage. Demand one that pulls you forward with documented processes, specialist expertise, transparency, and accountability. So demand transparency, expect specialist expertise and require measurable results. If you're not getting this from your agency, the most important question isn't how to improve performance, but whether you have the right infrastructure for the growth you want. Thank you.
Thanks, Jasa. Yeah, consistency is key, right?
Yes,
So
exactly.
not only in your workflow, but also in the results. So it makes a lot of sense. All right, then thanks for your presentation. We go to the last but not least presentation, which is from Nik, who's going to share his insight around ads and how to structure those for scale.
Awesome. Good stuff. Appreciate it. Can you guys all hear me all right on this?
Yeah.
Good. Awesome. Cool. I'm Nik. I had a CPG brand for 7.5 years. We sold about 2.5 years ago. Worked with 7 different Amazon agencies. Honestly, did not have good success. Couldn't figure out why we weren't being successful with the agencies that we worked with. Honestly, I'd hired some of the best ones out there. So long story short, I took it back in-house and grew at 450% in about 3 months. And after I sold the business, I decided I want to get into the Amazon agency world. So I'm going to share with you, this is truthfully the biggest thing that I see with all agencies of where they're missing. So I'm gonna go ahead and share. Mine's fairly quick and simple, but should show pretty good. All right, you guys able to see this right here? All right, cool.
I can see it.
Yes.
So one of the biggest things that I find within how most people are bundling their campaigns is like this right here. So what most people do is they go out there and they watch a bunch of YouTube videos. They try to figure out how to do this. All of us are constantly learning. Those that are here, obviously learning, from as many of us as we can, trying to figure out all the different factors of this. And the reality is, this is a lot simpler than where people go. And so I want to break this down very simply. So what most people do is they create a campaign, and they don't want to have too many campaigns in their account because it becomes very difficult to manage. And without the right softwares, tools, and systems, people aren't able to scale this. They're not able to manage it effectively, and they can only manage one or two accounts with the way that most people run. So what people do is they'll set up one campaign with multiple ad groups, multiple different products within these ad groups, and then tons of different keywords, different exact phrase, broad, auto, all these different ones within these campaigns. And what happens with this is it completely pulls you back from what you're able to actually scale to. So what it will allow you to do is it'll allow you to scale up to a certain point, and you'll hit diminishing returns really, really quick. And so whenever you look at most of the companies that you're working with, and you hit that plateau level, most of the time it's because of the structure of the campaign, is what I've found. Obviously, there's a couple of other factors that are very major, but this is the number one common factor that I've seen with everyone. What I kind of share down here is one shared budget. Amazon decides where the money is going to go. So the way that I explain it to people is you got 20 keywords in a campaign with multiple products and you want to scale one. How do you do that? Well, you really can't, because you've got your bid that you can increase or decrease. You increase it, hopefully you're going to show up higher. Or you've got your budget from the campaign level, of which you increase that, hopefully you'll get more spend to it. But the problem is if you increase the budget from the campaign level, you don't know where that's going to go to. Is it going to go to the keywords or targets that you're currently going after? Is it going to go after ones that haven't gotten any impressions? Is it going to go after the one that you just increased the bid? We're all hopeful that it goes towards the right one, and we believe that Amazon's algorithm would do the best for that, but it is not how it actually goes. And so this is where a lot of people start getting stuck. So this is how I always structure a lot of these. And now you want to be really careful when you're building this out, because what I don't want you to be deceived by is that does not mean that every single campaign, there should not be a new campaign for every single keyword. That's not what I'm getting at. But let me show you just real quickly here. If you guys are able to see this, the single keyword exact campaigns, single keyword phrase campaigns are usually some of like these best ones out there, right? And so the classic structure here is going to be one campaign, one ad group, one product, one keyword. This right here gives you the full control. You can now increase the bids or decrease the bids. You can increase the budget, pull back the budget. You can do top of search placements. You can do all these things. The problem is there's too many factors on all levels that if you don't do it this way, it becomes really, really complex. Now, the caveat that I'm going to say with all of this is what you don't want to be doing this on is your super low search volume terms, your terms that are not overly relevant. Those you still want to group into other campaigns, right? This also is going to be dependent upon the types of products you have. Let's just say you've got this, which holds a camera, and you've got a white, a black, and a gray. You may be able to put those all into one, right? But when we talk about an apple cider vinegar gummy versus a collagen gummy versus a multivitamin gummy, those have absolutely got to be completely separate. They are completely different products. You do not want to have those together. You don't want them touching. And if you have one of your products, like let's just say like a camera holder or whatever it might be in black, white, and gray, what you do want to do at a certain point is pull those out into these single keyword campaigns with single products within them if you're able to scale it, right? And so this has become one of the biggest things that we've found. I've created a tool because this is a total pain in the butt to one, create these campaigns. It's going to take you from, the 5-minute campaign, takes 5 minutes to create a typical campaign to now, I mean, I can create 250 campaigns in 45 seconds. And it's really, really simple. And so I'll share that tool with all of you guys, just totally free, just something that you guys can use internally or use for clients or whatever it may be. But this is some of the best stuff that we've seen. When we changed this over, we just had a client this last week that we onboarded, and within 3 days, we were up daily sales 30% just from this alone. We had cut spend back from wasted keywords and immediately adjusted some of the campaigns of where they were at, and we already saw massive success.
So that's it, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, I thought you're gonna show the tool, but
Oh yeah, I can show. Yeah, let me go through and show you guys this.
yeah, okay.
It's a good idea. Sorry, I probably sat there looking clueless for a second. All right, let's do this. Cool. All right. So this is kind of how you set it up. Let's just do test brand right here. And if you want to put anything else custom here, feel free to add anything custom. So if it's maybe an ASIN you want to put in, so B0, whatever, and let's just say there's some other thing that you're wanting to do ranking campaigns or something like that. You can adjust the way that you view the preview of this, right? So if you want this to be first, or you want this in, or you don't want this in, or you want it back in, anything like that, you can add all that stuff right there. And then down here, if you have portfolios, feel free to add that. You got your top of search and all that. Let's just say we want to do a phrase and abroad. We want to do skew 1, 2, 3, and we want to go after the single keyword mode, right? So we give you the option of doing either one. If you want multiple SKUs per campaign, you can do that. If not, we can just do one with it. And then what's cool here is I can go ahead and create a list of keywords. I'm just going to do so let's just say I want to go ahead and just paste these from an Excel document. I can just paste them in like this. And you can very quickly adjust all of them up 10% if you want, and it will adjust them here. Let's say you want to do the same thing with the phrase. You can copy and paste these, or you can go through and just add a new row. That's a little bit slower, but go through here and do this right here. And then all of that is done. If there's any product targeting or anything like that, you just download the file and boom, you've got all of your campaigns that you can go ahead and upload right into the Seller Central backend. So now I'm done.
Very nice. Looks good, Nick. And that's we can just go to your website and use the tool.
Yeah. So I'm going to paste the name of it within the chat here.
Yeah, I think that's useful.
Awesome.
Alrighty. Well, thanks a lot. Make sure everyone that you can will copy the link. I guess there are no more questions from the audience, so I want to thank everyone for your presentation. Very insightful. I hope everyone can take their own learnings out of it and yeah, start growing tomorrow even more. So yeah, I want to thank you and wishing you a very pleasant rest of the day. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.